Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Thursday. It's finally Thursday. Can't believe it. These days are all blending together for me, and it's hard for me to keep them straight. But I want to read to you one of my kids' favorite stories. It's called Silly Goose's Big Story by Kino Kasla. Remember? That's the person who wrote the story, and they worked really hard on trying to find something that all of us would like to hear about. And so today's story, we're going to talk about a goose. And the goose likes to be the leader of the groups. He likes to be the boss. You never try to play with somebody and they never let you be the boss. There's always someone you play with, and they always get to decide what you're going to play or how long you're going to play it. And sometimes that kind of makes us feel sad, and sometimes makes us feel even a little bit mad about that, doesn't it? So we're going to find out what happens in this story about the silly goose's big story. Because this goose likes to tell stories, and he's really good at it. But I think he kind of gets sidetracked, because being a good friend is having good play ideas, but it's also sharing, okay? And I see somebody right here. He looks kind of menacing. That means he looks like he's trying to come up with something, doesn't he? Who do you think this is? You think that looks like the wolf. And what do you think wolves want to do in the forest with all the animals? Do you think he wants to join in on their play? Or do you think that he might want to eat him? I think so. And he's going to try really hard, and you're going to see something happen to this wolf. And it's funny. You're going to like it. Okay, so let's talk about the structure of the book. So we said that this is the title. The title is Silly Goose's Big Story. And right here's the author's name, Kino Kasla. And this is the cover, or the front of the book. This is the back, and this is the spine. Very good. All right. Okay, so it starts. Goose made up a lot of great stories. His friends would always beg him, "Tell us a story, Goose." Do you have somebody that always tells good stories and they're really fun to play with? I think we all know people like that, right? Yeah. One day, Goose said, "Once upon a time, there were fierce pirates, and soon they were sailing the 7 seas together, looking for treasures. And Goose was the captain, the fiercest of them all." Boy, that looks like fun, doesn't it? See, there's Goose right here, and Squirrel, and Porcupine, and Badger. Another day, Goose said, "Once upon a time, there were scary dinosaurs, and soon they were roaming the earth, hunting and growling, and naturally, Goose was T-Rex, the scariest of them all." Yikes. Yikes. I think maybe one of the other friends would like to be the T-Rex from time to time, don't you? I think so. And another day, Goose said, "Once upon a time, there was a mighty king, and soon they were marching through towns and hills together, conquering the world." And who got to play the king? The mightiest of them all? Why, Goose, of course. How do you think that makes the friends feel? Maybe the beaver wants to play the king once in a while. Let's see what happens. "Wait a minute," said Goose. "Wait a minute, Goose," said Beaver. "You always get to play the hero. Why can't we take turns?" "Yeah," said Porcupine. "I like to be the hero sometimes." "Me too," said Squirrel. "No way," said Goose. "I always play the hero. Come on, let's keep marching." Look at the friends. They finally stood up and told their friend that they wanted to have a turn. And the looks on their faces, looks like they're kind of getting upset, right? Maybe even a little mad. Let's keep reading. That's selfish, said his friends. But Goose wouldn't give in. They are my stories, and I'm always the hero, he insisted. I know, look. Somebody's listening. They were busy arguing that they didn't know that somebody was listening to them. See? They're kind of starting to have a disagreement about who should be the leader of the story whenever they're playing. Maybe that's a problem, right? If they're fighting, that doesn't sound like much fun. They need to find a solution. Can you please stop? Thank you. You hear her? She's trying to sing and I'm trying to read. Crazy kid. All right. And suddenly he shouted, "Hello, lunch!" Oh. And they screamed and they ran, but poor Goose tripped on his royal cape, and Wolf scooped him up in an instant. Uh-oh.
Hello, lunch.
See, the animals were so busy arguing about who was going to be the leader, they didn't see the wolf sneak in, did they? And he could get one of these animals. Goose tripped, so what do you think's going to happen? Make a prediction. Do you think Goose is going to get away? What do you think's going to happen? Let's find out. He says, "So, you're the hero, huh?" Wolf chuckled. "More like a hero sandwich to me." Goose was in big trouble. He had to think fast, and finally he had an idea. "Mr. Wolf," Goose said, "I'm glad I found you. You're in great danger." "Is that so?" said the wolf. "How?" "Well, I'll tell you." I wonder how Goose is going to get himself out of this predicament. This is a problem. That wolf has him. But remember, Goose likes to tell stories, and he's a very smart goose, and he's going to try to figure out a way to get away from that wolf, because I don't think he wants to get eaten, do you? I know I wouldn't, and I would try anything to get away from him. So, Goose does something. Pay attention. You're going to find out. Goose began the biggest story that he had ever told. Once upon a time, there were thousands of happy wolves living in this mountain. "Uh-huh," said the wolf. Then, one day, what was his name? "Oh, yeah, Wham showed up," said Goose. "Wham? Who's that?" said the wolf. "Oh, Wham. Ha, that's short for wolf-eating monster." Look at all the happy wolves. You think that this Wham creature is real? Or what do you think? Goose continued. He used to wander around saying, "Yum, yum, I smell wolf." And when he found one, he popped him into his mouth like a peanut. "You're lying," said Wolf. But he looked really worried. "It's true, Mr. Wolf," said Goose. "Do you see thousands of wolves here? And this was the worst part. Wham is back." And just then, at that very moment, the trees began to shake and the earth began to rumble, and they heard loud footsteps in the distance. "What is that?" said Wolf. And soon spikes of hair appeared over the treetops. It couldn't be," said Wolf. "Look, there, look. Something's coming through those woods. Hear him? He's going boom, 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 boom." Okay. And then a deep voice bellowed out, "Yum, yum, I smell wolf." "It's Wham!" cried the wolf. And he dropped Goose like a hot potato and took off running. And he never, ever looked back. Oh, no. Do you think Wham is going to want to have a new dinner? Do you think he's going to want to eat the goose? This is kind of crazy. Make a prediction. What do you think? Goose was relieved. But he wasn't for long. Something big was definitely coming his way, and it was getting closer and closer. And then from behind the trees, see it? There's something coming. Something's coming through the trees. Ah! It's coming. It was his fierce-looking friends. Yum, yum, I smell wolf. They were still growling together, and the goose shouted relief. Wow. You guys, you're Wem. Yup. I shook the tree, said Squirrel. And the footsteps you heard were me slapping my tail, said Beaver. And I was the Wem's hair, said the Porcupine. So was there really a creature, a Wem? No. But it got Goose out of trouble, didn't it? They told a really good story that tricked that silly wolf. Hey, you know what? Beaver shouted suddenly. We finally got to play the heroes. Play the heroes, said Goose. You are the heroes. You saved me. That was pretty amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Tell us another story, said Goose. The friends begged as they began to walk home. Okay. I've got a good one, said Goose. Once upon a time, there was a silly goose who had three great friends, who had three of the greatest friends in the whole world. The end. So, the friends got to finally play the hero, and they saved the goose, which is really, really amazing. And so, do you think that the goose learned his lesson? I think he did. And I think that the animals played together every single day afterwards. But this time, instead of the goose always being the hero, I think that they finally the other animals finally got a chance to do it as well. So, it was a hard way to learn a lesson, being scared like that. But it worked. All right. Draw me a picture of your favorite part, all right? Have mommy or daddy or grandma or somebody send me a picture so I can see it. I miss you guys terribly. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to get another book for you. Bye.